Hello. I know this is going to be video journal number 3, so I wanted to talk about quickly what we talked about the other night in our group counseling class. Um, I really enjoyed, and it gave me a lot of stuff to think about when it came to time management, organization, and management. That's actually right up my alley. Spent 23 years in the military working on time management, organization, and management. Um, the Army is a great place to learn how to learn these things because they throw you into the fire, basically. You sink or swim. I mean, all those great phrases that you hear about. But I think what's great about the military is they allow you to make mistakes. Mistakes that could possibly get you fired in the civilian world. In the military, it's considered, hey, we're chalking this up to a learning experience. We're going to chew your butt for a little bit, and then let's move on. Lesson learned. Now, unless you do something seriously drastic like kill somebody or severe property damage, things of those nature, then of course, you're going to get punished. But when it comes to the day-to-day operations, the Army does, or the military in itself does, allow you to um, make mistakes and continue on. So, with that being said, I think what I like the most about these and some of the things that we should talk about is it's important to protect your time. You talked about that. Now, it's always been a big deal in the military. Time protection, because why? Training is important. People are important. So it's important to know that how you protect your time and how you manage that time is the sole reason of why we're in our business. The second thing I think is interesting was having the access to resources and time and people, as well as managing, I think in this particular case, in this day and age, social media, technology, information, and of course, obviously, time. So, the other thing you need to do is you need to organize those materials, those time, those people, those concepts, technology, and all these things, and you squish them into one little package, and that's how you come up with a good operations order in order to move the people and equipment and processes where you want them. Um, Something that always worked for me was what we call backwards planning. Start at the end of the task, and we work our way back. And then obviously on the way forward, you have these timelines that you're hitting. But you're not able to hit those timelines unless you do a backwards planning. Say, okay, this is when we're executing it, and this is where we're starting it. Now, what needs to happen in between here? So I think that's interesting. Another thing that helped me a lot was I was able to be adaptable to each situation, but the basic concept always stays the same. You're backwards planning, yes, and that is the model. And you're also doing the 2/3, 1/3 planning rule. So by doing that, you can be flexible and you can be adaptable inside of that model, but that's the model you use. You don't deviate from that. Okay, so I think that's interesting. So the second thing that it moved on to, when we talked about learning styles, um, I took the test and it came out. Let me see what it said here. It said visually I was a 13, socially I was an 11, physically and verbal I was 14. Uh, an oral learner I was 11. For solitary I was 13, which is pretty cool. It's about right. And then logically I was a 9. So I'm more of an analytical thinker than a logical thinker. So I was pretty right on the head about as far as what I like and what I don't like. So overall, I think that last class was good. I know I didn't feel as well as I should have, but um, I liked the topics, and it allowed me a chance to be quiet and listen to everybody else and see how they do their techniques. Um, I believe that the military prepared me very well for working as a counselor, also working in leadership positions where I can make decisions that I know are right. So, all right, well, that concludes this week's journal. I really did enjoy it, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.